Hello everybody and welcome to Janisha Colors. Today I'm working on a piece from last year, but it was because I thought this was very important. I thought, why not introduce myself this week? Since this is a brand new channel from a former channel, but still new, I thought it was best to introduce myself. And so I decided to pull some footage from when I was working on my hashtag Meet the Artist challenge. If you haven't heard of the Meet the Artist challenge, it is essentially you drawing yourself as the artist and all the things that you use when you art that's in your bag. And so it's a neat way to get people to know you as an artist through your art and about yourself more. So I thought it would be a great way to introduce myself here on my channel. So to start off, I thought I'd talk about myself, of course, as an artist. My name is Janisha Okanya. I'm 26 years old. I have been drawing for about as long as I can remember, but I didn't really actively start pursuing art until about late middle school, early high school. I actually graduated from high school with graphic design under my belt, and I did it. I specialized specifically on logos and typography, but I just didn't prefer the graphic design aspect of art because it was too business oriented and a little too competitive for me. So after I graduated, I had that graphic design skill under my belt, but I ended up spending more time self-teaching myself in art in general, in multiple medias. But at that time, around the early 2010, I was doing more digital mediums, and then I slowly started getting into traditional mediums. So I did a mix of both over that time, but I spent most of the time honing my art skills in general. I love doing art. It seems obvious, Janisha. You're drawing right now. Yes, but I feel strongly in putting my art out there, and I couldn't be happier doing it. Of course, I not only do art, I am also a teacher in my spare time, in my spare time. Most of my time goes to teaching, but the rest of the time is either me studying in school or me doing my art. So I tend to keep myself busy a lot of the times, but I personally wouldn't have it any other way. I can't sit still for the life of me anyway, so it's like, might as well keep as busy as possible, and then when you get home, just pass out and be done with the day. Some things that influenced me as an artist, well, I think one of the key ones, I could say anime, but before I get to anime, let's go to the other key influences. One of the other influences is actually Disney. I remember growing up as a kid in the 90s. Yes, I'm a 90s kid. And we had a ton of Disney movies growing up, and we loved watching them. And I was always fascinated with how they animated all those movies. And I think the most notable for me, and all my friends could tell you this, I absolutely adore Pocahontas. Yes, I know it's completely historically inaccurate, but I absolutely fall in love every time I see all the animation for that. It's just so gorgeous. And I remember as a kid, I would pause the video on VHS. I would sit there, pause it, and like slowly fast forward to see just everything that was going on in the scene. And so, yes, I love watching Disney so much. And then I also used to, in my early high school years, I used to craft a lot. Specifically, I used to do a lot of, I did dabble in fashion design, but for the most part I stuck to just designing clothing versus making it. But then I also learned how to sew as well, so I was doing that for a little bit as well, and I enjoyed creating outfits in general and making up patterns to sew. And so that was another thing that I did. And I also, of course, I watched anime. I loved Sailor Moon. Was one of the main ones that me and my family grew up on. And I remember me and my sisters, we would kind of draw it together, and then eventually that grew from me drawing just Sailor Moon to like making up my own stories and so forth. And here I am today, making up my own stories, my own comics and so forth. So and in general, there are a handful of things that have influenced me to continue doing art, and I really enjoy it. For me and my current art journey, I'm just trying to get my art out there. I love doing my art, and I love sharing it, and I want to do better about sharing it in general. I feel like sometimes I'm like an incredibly slow artist. I'm just trying to do better about putting my art out there and going from there. Truly, there are a handful of things that I love to do in art that I would love to do, and I'm trying to continue honing my skills on that. And that's, I think, most especially is illustration, concept art, and color theory. Those are some of my main things. And also animation, because I do like to animate. I just don't. A lot of the times I end up doing only storyboards and never fully animating it. So there's me in a nutshell, as I tend to do a lot of projects and then they're usually incomplete. So I thought it would also be interesting to share my personal strengths and weaknesses as an artist. And because I feel it's something that we as artists don't like to talk about a lot, because it's like, nobody likes to expose themselves to expose their weaknesses. And I'm definitely one of those people, but I thought it was refreshing, not only for myself but for other artists, to understand that you are not alone when it comes to certain things that you struggle on, and you just have to continue striving to better yourself as an artist. So to start, I will start with my strengths. My biggest strengths that I feel that I have in my art is my color theory. I actually am self-taught in it as well, but I do study it genuinely, and I have a good sense of putting colors on a canvas in a picture for subject or whatever it is that I'm drawing and coloring, and making that work out. And I'm also confident in giving color ideas and suggestions to others as well, and hence the name of my channel, Janisha Colors, because that's my core thing that I feel that I enjoy doing the most, especially when art is coloring. So there's that. And then I also feel I have good strength in motion, and I know I have to clarify on this one, because I feel I have a good sense of motion when I'm animating, but I also feel I have a good sense of motion when it comes to making objects flow in a picture. So for example, if there's like hair being swept in the wind, it flows very nicely in the picture, and you can see exactly which way the wind is moving the hair and so forth and all that. So I feel those are some of my strengths in when it comes to making art. Now, some of my weaknesses, I feel the biggest weakness for me is I struggle with posing a lot of the times. I tend to make my subjects and whatever art pieces that I'm doing a little stiff, and trust me, I've come a long way on this one, but there is always room for improvement. So that's one weakness that I feel that I have. And then my second weakness, I would think, it's not really a weakness so much as I tend to avoid it like the plague. Well, not avoid it like the plague, but I don't do it often enough. And I feel that is ambient backgrounds. I know that sounds crazy, like what? Ambient backgrounds? Don't you just mean backgrounds? No, I mean specifically backgrounds that literally have all kinds of things going on at once. So just busy scenarios, and I would love to work on that, definitely. So that is definitely on my list to improve upon. Both these weaknesses and many other weaknesses that I have, I plan to improve on. And the best way I'm going to go about doing this is not necessarily a New Year's resolution, but kind of a challenge I gave myself for this new year, and that is to do a new art study each month. So, for example, this month I am doing an art study in shoes because I struggle with drawing shoes, and so I thought, well, why not study it this month, and each month it'll be something different. I will also be making videos of these studies of the month as well at the very end of the month, so that you can see exactly what I did, my processes for creating, well, in this case, shoes, my processes for creating shoes, my thoughts on how to break down the shoes and make them work for me. Basically, whatever it is that I'm studying, I'm going to study it, collect all video footage that I'm creative it, and explain to you my processes of making it very simple for one to draw this particular study topic, for not only myself but also for other artists who might be struggling with shoes or whatever else it is you're struggling. So look forward to that, because I'm really excited to be doing this study of the month. That pretty much sums up me as an artist. I really hope you guys like this. I thought this would be a very interesting way of introducing myself to you guys. So to finish off the video, I would like to give out my next set of color palettes for #JannyColors. This week's color palettes for Janny Colors is New Dreams. The color palettes for New Dreams will be listed at the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm really excited for all the content that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to make it a point to have these up every Sunday. Don't forget to hit the notification button so that you can see when my videos come up on Sunday. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.